Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So this is just a real quick video. Yesterday I got a couple questions about how I was going to embroider this. Now, there's so many different things you can do. But what I have, and this is for y'all who are starting out, maybe you don't have an iron at home, or you don't want an iron, or your iron's broke, or whatever. One of the things I have down in my art room is the tulip iron that they use for like sticking on the gems and all that kind of thing. I have this down here. I use it for when I use wax, when I wax my journal pages and art and that kind of thing. But I also use it for things like this. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things real quick. This is a piece of backing. And what this is, if you can see the shimmer, that's glue. And I'm going to show you how we will attach this to make it easier to either sew in your sewing machine or by hand. Now this is a thicker stabilizer. You can get many different sizes, and this is not a double back. There's things that you can make appliques with where you iron it on the one side, take the paper off the other side, and then you can iron it on a piece of fabric. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know down below. But that's different than this. So this is just, it's called Pelham, and it's backed, you know, it has glue. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bulk of the extra yellow off. Now I'm not measuring yet and all that. I don't need to. And a little tip I want to tell you guys is, you see how my fabric is threading a bit? Like, let me show you. Like right here, those little threads. I don't even think you can see it. There's little threads. And they will pull and that kind of thing. If you don't want that and you have a pair of shears like that have the edges, the decorative edges and that kind of stuff, use that, because then that helps them not continue to shed or pull apart or whatever. So I think actually what I'm going to do, but that's how you'll do it. I'm going to do the owl because that'll be easier for me. And I'm just going to cut the bulk of it. You don't have to have all of it because we'll straighten it up once it's on there. And I didn't cut these perfectly, so they won't be perfect. And really, you know, it's do as you go along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on. And I'm going to set that right here. And I'm going to lay it out flat. And you want to, you want to have it covered because you really don't want the glue to touch your iron. Now, if it does, just wipe it off while it's hot. Be very, very careful. But have a piece of fabric next to you, or a thick rag or something that you can wipe it. And it won't be that big a deal. So just make sure it's sitting on there. And then something else I got asked was if it's okay if you put your stabilizer on before you print. So I'm going to do that here. Now this is what I'm talking about. See these little strings? That happens because these edges are raw. But if you use your decorative scissors, or the shears that you have when you sew, I can't remember their names right now. If you remember their names, put them down below. They're the big scissors. I have them in my sewing room that have the decorative edge on it. So you can see here, not perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this, and I'll lay it, pretty close. And I'm going to just kind of do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my iron. This is what it looks like. It's by Tulip. And I'm going to just, now if you use your iron at home, do not put steam in it. Do not put water. Do not put steam, because that does not help when you're doing this kind of thing. So all I'm doing is putting the heat, and I'm activating that glue. And you see how nice, and now don't hit the glue down there if you can help it, And I'm doing it on my heat-proof mat, as you can see. But you don't have to. You can use I use a towel sometimes, a thick towel. It depends on what you have. I'm going to do it here. And remember, this is the fabric paint, so I'm just doing it and turning it just to make sure and hold it on there. And now I touched a little bit right here because my iron stuck, but I just pulled it off. Not a big deal. Just try to make sure those edges and all that. All right. I think you'll get the hint. I can see down here. I want to get it as far down as I can because I can just cut those extras off. All right, making sure I got them up here. Now look, I don't know if you can see this little oil stain. That's from the wax I had left over on my iron. I love waxing journal pages and all that. Or paintings. It's my favorite thing to put stuff in, and oh, I love it. And this is a perfect tool for your art room. Or if you art on your kitchen table or a small place and you don't have room for all of that. So now you see, so I'm going to let that cool. And while that cools, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part off. And you can do this beforehand if you want. It's just easier once it's glued on. And then I'll cut a little bit here. That's just that extra edge. Like I said, I'm not measuring anything right now. I'm not really worrying about all that. Now, what I will do, leave that sit there for a second. All these little pieces, these will come off, okay, off of the glue. And what I like to do is I save these, and I will save, this is ridiculous, and I'll save these. And what I do is I'll just start layering little pieces of fabric. And if you're familiar with a crazy quilt, this is kind of like it in the sense of how I do it. But just take all your pieces that you accumulate over this, and we're going to lay it all down. Then we'll glue it down, and then we can add this into a wall hanging or whatever, because I don't like to throw anything away. Now, I can't figure out a gosh darn thing to make with these little, with these little white pieces. So if you have patience and you want to glue on these little teeny things with fabric, by all means do, but these are going in the garbage. So I'm not going to glue this yet because if I put my iron on here, the glue will attach to my iron and it kind of defeats the whole purpose. So I will set that aside until I get the, rest of my stuff cut. Or paper, or, if we have our paper, whatever you have, and then you just start gluing it on. So I'm going to set that aside for now. And what I like to do is I like to go one more time. I'll hold it and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you should have that little tone in your voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what I'm saying? How fun it makes it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or aren't we having fun now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See that? It's like all of a sudden out the blue you do it and people just think you're just joyous. Because that's what people think of when they think of me as joy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My dogs are going to get excited, think I'm playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I think you get the hint. I'm not going to count anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It makes it so much funner, doesn't it? More funner. That makes sense, Cal. All right. So I think you get the gist. I really like to get on those ends to make sure they're down. Now remember, when we go to cut this, my wax is falling off. When we go to cut this, if you have any edges that come up, just go ahead and put them down. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to cut it in half. You can see where the line is for the most part. Okay. And then I can see here, this is a little facaded, so I'm just going to go down and cut that off. I'm not worrying about it. And then, again, you can save this yellow and that glue. And then, here we go. I don't want any of that little bit of white showing. And there we go. And there are 2 pieces of your hanging quilt already done. Now, you want to, jelly print on this? You just do the same thing. Well, let's do a real quick. I'll just do a real quick. And look, it's on there. So we can hand sew. Now, this is a bit thicker, but I don't care. I'm going to do something on there because I like it. But let me really quickly. You know what? No, I'm gonna come back and do a video strictly with the glue gun and making those stamps for your jelly plate, because I got quite a few people asking for me to do that. There you go. I said it all. So I hope this helped you guys a little bit. This, like I said, is a little bit thicker than but like I said, I'm going to put it through my machine with my quilting thing. I don't have any problems with that, but if you're going to do by hand, which I love to do by hand as well, you would use a thinner one. They're very inexpensive to get. You can use your coupon at Joann's and get a yard of it and get it, for 50% off or whatever your coupon's for. And it really, really does help. Now, I'm not going to make this my center of my wall hanging, but it's going to be a piece in there that's going to add interest, and then I'm going to kind of go with the flow with the colors. So, as always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. I love you guys so, so very much. I want to thank you guys for watching, and give me a thumbs up if you like seeing these, and I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah, I love you guys.